All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, this is the Jolting Joe Sports Show. I am your host, Jolting Joe, and it is Sunday afternoon, about 4 o'clock Central Standard Time on Sunday. I believe today is the 20th. Uh, I know it's post St. Patty's Day, but what the hell? Figured I'd go with it. And real quick, what are you drinking? What are you smoking? First of all, I've got a Rocky Patel Discipline. Rocky is one of my favorite brands, by the way. This one's called the Discipline there. And then I didn't bring the bottle out; it's a little warm out here today. What was actually gorgeous, but for a stout. But in the glass there, that is Goose Island Bourbon County from this year. An extra one left over. Fair pair it with this here cigar and go with. So, cheers, everybody. Mm. All right, so let's just get right into it, shall we, ladies and gentlemen? Mm. Mm. All right, make sure I get my notes here so we can see this. All right, so hell, let's just start with the NFL real quick. So number one, Aaron Rodgers, of course, stays with Green Bay. The Washington Commanders, of course, go with Carson fucking Wentz. You got to be fucking kidding me, man. Fucking swear. Uh, but anyway, so just real quick, one big one was Devontae Adams. Devontae Adams, of course, got traded from Green Bay. He is going to the Raiders. So I'm sure Derek Carr is happy about that. We'll see if that pays off. Of course, they re-sign Aaron Rodgers, and they're like, "Hey, we're going to give away your best receiver." Um, but Adams is gone. But of course, the big deal was the Deshaun Watson trade, going from the Houston Texas to the Cleveland Browns for whatever freaking reason. Nobody really knows what the hell happened with this. This came out of left field, but here's kind of what we know. And let me pull up. I got a bunch of screenshots from Schefter and Rappaport and everybody, so I can give you all the details of this. I know, of course, everybody's probably heard of what was going on with this deal, but let's see here. Where's my? There we go. All right, so let's get all this stuff up here. Um, as far as that goes. Now, Adam Schefter was the first one to report. Now, first of all, if you weren't following this, this is kind of what happened. The Browns went after him, the Saints went after him, the Falcons went after him, the Panthers went after him. Deshaun, of course, has a no trade clause. He gets to determine where he's going to go. Basically, what Nick Caserio, the GM of the Texans, said: if you want to talk to Deshaun, make us an offer. We want to make sure we've got an offer in place before you talk to Deshaun. So basically, it was kind of like serious inquiries only. It was basically what Nick Caserio was saying, right? Oh, we got to suck a little bit more here. Hold on a second. Hmm. Make sure I keep that going. All right, but anyway, so it was like serious inquiries only, right? All right. So Watson. Now, of course, the Saints. They've got wide receivers. They've got a good defense. You know, New Orleans would be a forgiving city. All right. I mean, you basically have Vegas number one as far as Sin City goes, and then New Orleans is number two. All right. Then Atlanta came into play because, of course, that's basically Deshaun's hometown team. He was the ball boy there. He, went to high school there. He grew up just outside of Atlanta. So there was that. Cleveland basically was going, they weren't sold on Baker Mayfield. They basically told Baker, look, we're going to try and get a tier one quarterback because we think you're tier two. And if we can't get a tier one quarterback, then you'll be our quarterback. All right. Well, Baker gets butthurt, which is understandable because this team's basically telling you you're not good enough, and of course you're going to think you're good enough, and it's like, well, Deshaun Watson's better. We'd rather have Deshaun than you, but you're a second choice. If we can't go to the dance with Deshaun Watson, we'll take you to the dance. So I get a little bit of why Baker Mayfield's butthurt, and so he requested a trade. And this is before the Deshaun thing when even came down, but he requested a trade, and then the Browns said, no, we're not going to trade you. All right, we're not going to trade you, okay? Hmm. All right, so they said they're not going to trade him. All right. So next thing that happens is the Browns. Deshaun says, "I don't want to go to Cleveland." Okay. And then he basically said, "Nah, I don't want to go to Carolina either." So that left the Falcons and the Saints, and it looked like the Falcons were the leader in the clubhouse because that's the hometown team. They had the hometown team thing going. Apparently the reason that the Carolina deal fell through is because they didn't want to guarantee the last 2 years of Watson's contract, the third year and the fourth year, because it was originally just a 4-year deal that Watson's got. Then the new deal kicks in. So he had his rookie deal with the Texans. That with the last year of that deal was this year. He set out. He got paid for that, and then the new deal that he signed with the Texans kicks in this season. So, but they didn't. It was a 4-year deal. Well, they didn't want to pay the guarantee the last 2 years of his deal. So he said, "Okay, well, I'm bye Carolina." All right. And so it looked like it was going to be Atlanta, but the Browns apparently, they never stopped pursuing Watson, even though Watson told them no. They were kind of like the persistent guy, gets, told, the girl, he asks the girl out and the girl says, nah, but he's a little persistent, right? And he's like, come on, just one day, what's it going to hurt? It'd be fine. And then turns out, the girl totally digs the dude, falls in love, they get married and have a family. All right, that's basically what happened with Deshaun Watson and the Cleveland Browns, all right? Hold on a second, guys. Let me do this right quick here. Because I think I get a little ashy here, but let's see if I can get a little whoop. All right. I know, gets distracted away from the sports talk here. I gotta need to aerate this thing. There we go. Yeah, for you non-cigar smokers, this is an aerator. And if you got a tight seal roll, what you can do is you just take this and kind of stick it in the air. Oh, that is tight. And you can kind of loosen that up a little bit. And that'll loosen the draw up, because that is a tight draw right now. There you go. Okay. Let me put that down. All right, so back into this. So there you go, a little cigar 101 for you there. All right, so getting back to this Deshaun thing. So, like I said, it's kind of like the guy that's being a little persistent. He's like, come on, just one day, we'll see. And she's like, finally, girl gives in. It's like, okay, let's go out. And then she turns out she really likes the guy. All right, that was kind of, Deshaun's like, hey, kind of like Cleveland. Now, also too, two things contributed to his decision. All right, number one, when the Cleveland found out that the Panthers were not going to guarantee the last 2 years of his contract, Cleveland came in and said, well, we'll guarantee the last 2 years of your contract. And then not only that, they said, we're going to give you a $48 million raise. We're going to make it a 5-year deal, and we'll guarantee the whole goddamn thing. We're going to give you $230 million guaranteed. All right, biggest guaranteed contract in NFL history. That's what we're going to give you. And so Deshaun Watson all of a sudden was like, you're going to give me $230 million guaranteed and a $48 million raise, 5-year contract? Where do I sign? And yes, Cleveland was best suited to win right now. They've got a good defense. Jarvis Landry may re-sign with Cleveland now that Deshaun's there. They got 2 really good running backs there in Cleveland. They've got, so it does give him his best chance to win. But also, once again, it's all about the money. All right, it's all about the Benjamins, baby. It's all about that dollar bill, yo. All right, which we'll get into when we talk about Correa, but Deshaun, it was, we're going to fully guarantee your contract. So here's kind of what's going to end up happening. So he waives his no trade clause. Let me make sure I get through here. So according to Adam Schefter here, $184 million over the first 4 years of the contract, a $48 million raise over the $136 he was scheduled to make over the same 4 years in the previous contract, a $12 million a year raise for that span. All right. Every dollar of Deshaun Watson's new 5-year, $230 million deal is guaranteed, setting a new NFL record for the highest guarantee given to an NFL player. Of course, and then David Muguleta, Watson's agent, round of applause to you, sir. He's going to be making bank off of this too. And then this is what the final draft compensation was. And then, by the way, the most guaranteed money in a single contract was Deshaun at $230. Number 2 is Aaron Rodgers, but he's $80 million back at $150.7. So no, yeah, 80 million. Yeah, 80 million back, almost a full $80 million. And somewhere, Aaron Rodgers was crying a little bit. because he's no longer the prettiest girl to dance, or at least the richest girl to dance. Jesus Christ. All right. And then let's see here. Okay, here we go. So this is how the trade went. The Texans get 3 first-round picks. They get 1 third-round pick, and they get a 4th-round pick. They get the Browns' 2022 first-round pick, their 2023 first-round pick, their 2024 first-round pick. So the Texans are going to have the 3 of the Browns' first-round picks for the next 3 years. They then get the 3rd pick in, let's see, the 3rd pick comes in 2023, so they'll be getting 2 picks from there in 2023, and then in 2024 they get the 4th rounder. The Browns get Watson, and they got a 5th round draft pick in 2024. So that is how the deal shakes out. Now, I know there's a lot of Texans fans that thought they should have gotten more out of this because, of course, Russell Wilson, who is older, I think 7 years older than Deshaun Watson, of course, they got draft picks, and they got 5 draft picks, and they got 3 players. No players in this deal, but you got to remember, Deshaun's got 22 civil cases against him. There's a good chance he's going to get suspended for this year. So I don't know if you give, just because of that, because you're going to lose games to this, where with Russell Wilson, you're not losing any games with him. So that makes Russell Wilson, in my opinion, just a hair bit more valuable. You can say Deshaun's a better quarterback. You can say Deshaun's younger, but Wilson does not have 22 civil cases against him. Now, remember, Roethlisberger cleared of criminal charges, suspended by the NFL. Zeke Elliott cleared of criminal charges, suspended by the NFL. And there was one more guy, too, that was cleared of criminal charges, suspended by the NFL. So Deshaun has been cleared of criminal charges. He can still be suspended by the NFL, and I think he will be. I think they pretty much have to. Now, how many games is he going to get? I don't know. Is he going to get 8? Is he going to get 4? Who the hell knows? I'm not Roger Goodell. But we'll see what they end up doing with as far as that goes. All right. Let's see what else we got. Okay. Now, also, too, it's kind of interesting, though, that the first year of Watson's contract, according to CBS here and Tom Pelissero, too, of Pro Football Talk, the first year, his base salary is only $1 million, but they're giving him a $45 million bonus, signing bonus, which I think kind of helps the cap out a little bit. Because if he gets suspended, they're going to lose him for that anyway. They're still going to have to pay him. The whole goddamn contract's guaranteed. They still got to pay him. But anyway, as far as that goes. All right. Let's see. All right. And then, and then this was just NFL memes. This was just funny. Last 11 days, Deshaun Watson, Devontae Adams, Russell Wilson, Carson Wentz, Amari Cooper, Khalil Mack, Yannick Ngakoue, and Juju Smith-Schuster are all traded. Tom Brady unretires. Julio Jones, Bobby Wagner, Fletcher Cox get cut. Von Miller, Allen Robinson, Chandler Jones, J.C. Jackson all switch teams. And that was the last 11 days in the NFL. That's pretty much freaking crazy stuff right there. So that's the Deshaun Watson trade. Texan fans just happy Deshaun's gone. They can now move on. There's now no more uncertainty. They can go full rebuild. They'll be okay. Now Cleveland's going to have to deal Baker. Baker wants to go to either Seattle or Indy. If Seattle or Indy want him, that's going to be the question there. Seattle's going to have Drew Lock. Do they stay with Drew Lock? I can see them not. Indy does need a quarterback. I can see Baker going to Indy, and in fact, I'm going to say that Baker goes to Indy. That's just my guess, my own personal opinion. If I'm putting money down on it, I'm putting my money on the Colts. Panthers still need a quarterback too. Do you trade? Will Baker go to the Panthers? He doesn't have a no trade, so basically he's got no say in the matter. But they'll see. But the Browns, I think, are going to try to accommodate Baker if they can, because it's basically going to say, hey, we're sorry, we're just going to do you a solid, and we'll try to make it as easy for you as possible. So the Browns are going to take Baker's. They're going to take Baker's. Suggestions to heart. Now they don't, probably going to depend on who gives them the better deal. But at the same time, that's what they're going to end up doing with that. Okay. All right. So that gets us to baseball this week too. So let's see what we got going on with baseball right now. Oh, Freddie Freeman, try that again. Freddie Freeman signed with the Dodgers. I think I got that contract information here too. Let's see. Oh yeah, Trevor Story signs with the Red Sox. He's 6-year, 140 for that. So Trevor Story's off the market. He goes to Boston. Freddie Freeman signs with the Dodgers. And that Dodger lineup, don't get me wrong, it's going to be crazy. All right, I'm an Astros fan. I don't like the Dodgers all that much. I have no problem really with the Dodgers as an organization. It's just I don't like these Dodgers. You know what I mean? I just Chet, the manager, Roberts. He just rubs me the wrong way. Justin Turner rubs me the wrong way. Cody Bellinger rubs me the wrong way. They just get a lot of players I just really dislike. And a manager I just really dislike. And I think the Dodgers are the new New York Yankees. Because the Yankees, of course, back in the 90s and stuff, they would buy championships. And granted, and I know Yankee fans, don't go crazy on me here, okay? But because they have a lot of homegrown talent, all right? Jeter was homegrown. Bernie Williams was homegrown. Paul O'Neill was homegrown. I get that. But the Yankees could always sign a big name to put them over the top. They would go out and sign Wade Boggs, or they'd sign Scott Brosius, or they'd sign Randy freaking Johnson, or, Mike Mussina, CC Sabathia. They could go out and get and Rivera, of course, was homegrown too. But they could go out and get those big names. But of course, the Yankees would always win the damn World Series, especially in the 90s under Joe Torre. The thing with the Dodgers is the Dodgers are a great regular season team, but haven't been able to do dick in the playoffs. Now, granted, they did win the World Series in 2020, but of course, 2020 was gimmicky as hell because it was only a 60-game season. You had the expanded playoffs, and then of course, they end up beating the Rays. They still won the World Series. They still get a ring. All right, you can put an asterisk on it if you want to. You don't have to. But it was a 60-game pandemic season. I mean, come on. All right. If the Astros cheating gets an asterisk, the 60-game season should get an asterisk too. I know everybody was playing under the same rules, but Jesus Christ. All right. I mean, if you're going to give Maris an asterisk for 62 games instead of 154 games, I mean, come on with whatever. That's just my own personal opinion. Come at me, Dodger fans. I know you're going to, it's fine. I understand. You still get a ring. You still wear the banner. You're still the 2020 champions. It really doesn't matter. All right. Nothing changes. It's still good. You got a ring. All right. But the Dodgers are notorious for, first round exits and NLC exits. Clayton Kershaw never shows up, he's had, issues in the postseason, and they've been knocked out. I don't know how many. Dave Roberts, I think his name manager. I was trying to think. Brian Roberts? No, it's not Dave Roberts. Yeah. All right. But anyway, so kind of what's going on with that, it just, they're trying to, I think, like I said, they're trying to buy, now they got Mookie Betts, right? They went out and got Mookie, last year. And, and they, re-signed Cody Bellinger. Now, Seager left, of course. They re-signed Kershaw to 1 year. They still got Turner and stuff. But at the same time, they're trying to buy these championships, and it hasn't worked out yet. So maybe it works out this year. Hell, Dodgers may win the World Series this year. Hell if I know. All right. But until they do, you got to prove me wrong, Dodgers. You got to prove me wrong. All right. Are you just going to keep spending money and then not have anything to show for it? All right. And hey, and I'll take the knock on that too with the Astros. All right, they've been to 3 World Series, 2017, 2019, 2021. They're like the Giants of the odd numbered years. All right, 3 World Series in 5 years. So they've only got 1 to show for it, and that one, of course, got an asterisk by it. All right, so I get it. All right, but the Astros are kind of like the Braves of the 90s. The Braves got 1, and then, got their, and then got beat by the Yankees twice. So, yeah, it just kind of is what it is, you know what I mean? But we'll see what happens with the Dodgers, all right? But I just think they're trying a little hard there. And that was that. Okay. All right, and so, of course, that brings us, of course, we're in Houston here, so that brings us to the Correa deal. Now, for you people that are not in Houston, the owner of the Houston Astros, Jim Crane, he does not like giving out long-term deals, all right? The most he usually does is 5. He doesn't like committing to a long-term deal, which that's a business thing. I understand that because once again, we've talked about this before. Look at some of these long-term deals and have they worked out? Pujols, not worth the money of that long-term deal. He killed the Angels organization for years. All right. Same thing with Miguel Cabrera. He still got, I think, 2 years left on that deal. Detroit can't do anything until that contract's gone. It's like an albatross around their neck, and you're paying a guy that's not that good anymore. If Fernando Tatis. Now, granted, he's going to be out this season with the broken wrist, or a majority of this season with that fractured wrist. The thing about Fernando Tatis is he's what, like 20, 21 years old, all right, and he signed a 13-year deal. Okay, but Fernando Tatis, you're banking on, he's a superstar, right? I mean, guy's 21 years old. I mean, he's like the next, Mike Trout or the next Juan Soto, something to that effect. And you're buying out years of arbitration on top of that. You're buying out 4 years of arbitration on top of that. That deal makes sense. And then even when the deal's over, even at 13 years, he's going to be in his early 30s. And so you can just not re-sign him then. But if you want to lock him up in his prime years and buy out arbitration, that makes sense. Correa's kind of on the middle of this because he's 26. You give him a 10-year deal, he's going to be 36. And what's a 36-year-old Carlos Correa going to do? All right, is he going to lose a step? Is he going to lose range? Is he not going to be as good as the plate? Is his injury history going to flare up? Is he going to get another bad back? Is he going to get another rib crack? Is something going to happen to Carlos Correa? There is an injury concern there. I'm okay with not signing Correa, and I was completely okay with the Astros not signing a 10-year deal for Carlos Correa. I am completely okay with that. Now, apparently the Astros offered him 5 years, $160. That's $32 million a year. All right, was what that breaks down to, is his average per year deal. All right, comes out to $32 million a year. All right, but Correa wants, and $32 million to us sounds like a hell of a lot of money. All right, and it is, but Correa wanted longer terms, which I get, because if you want to get a 10-year deal, because like I said, in 10 years, Correa might not get the money that he did. Justin Verlander, for crying out loud, got less money from the Astros this year because he's coming off a Tommy John and he's almost 40 years old. All right. Greinke took less money, signed a small deal for the Royals because he's 37, 38 years old, maybe 36, somewhere in that. He's in his late 30s. He's not quite as good as he used to be. All right. So when Correa turns 36, he's probably going to get less money. All right, so he wants to make sure he makes his $300 million. I get that, but I also get from a club perspective that you don't necessarily want to pay a 35, 36-year-old Carlos Correa. All right, so I got no issue with them not offering a deal. All right. Now, the thing about this is that the lockout happened and then spring training got going and nobody was signing Correa. There was these rumors that Correa was in talks with the Astros. The Astros had renegotiated this, and that they were back in talks to get to re-sign Correa at least for this season. The thing with Correa is Correa wanted an opt-out after each year, basically, which is what he did with the Twins, in which Correa could basically play this year for the Astros, then opt out of his contract, and then hit free agency if he so chose, and then go get him. So basically, he would have been a hired gun for the Astros this season. And I would have been okay with that too. If Carlos wants to bet on himself but then if you want to keep him for this year, I know they've got Pena, the new kid, that they want to see at shortstop, but the window for the Astros to win another World Series, I think, is closing. Yuli's in his late 30s. Michael Brantley's in his late 30s. Justin Verlander's damn near 40. Okay, Altuve's on the other side of 30 now, I believe. So that team's not getting any younger right now. I mean, you still got Bregman, you still got Tucker, but Martin Maldonado, he's in his 30s. All right, he's not going to be your long-time solution to catcher because the guy can't hit. Great defensive catcher. I love Machete. Guy throws down people left and right. Love the guy. But he's not going to be your long-term catcher. So your window is closing. Why not bring Correa back for a year at $35 million? You took Greinke off the books. You got money to play with. you would have Bregman, Correa, Altuve, Gurriel. Your infield would be intact. You got Brentley and Tucker. Maybe try and go get another center fielder or something like that. I kind of don't get it as far as that goes. Now, as far as Correa's end goes, Minnesota. You go to Minnesota? Minnesota? You want to go to Minnesota? The Twins finished last year, and I think this is just conjecture on my part, but I think Correa. Now the contract is for $35 million a year, which makes him the highest paid position player. But he gets to opt out, and it's a 3-year deal. But he gets to opt out after every year. So he gets an opt out after 2022, and then if he re-signs, he gets an opt out after 2023, and then of course the most he can play would be 2024, and then he'd hit free agency again, which he'd be 29 when he hit free agency again. I'm thinking what Correa's doing is he's going to bet on himself. Try to have a monster year this year. He's going to try and play. Most baseball players now with days off and injury and stuff, you're looking to probably get 140 out of him, 130, 140 out of him of a 162-game series. So let's just say he plays 130 games this year. We'll kind of lowball it there. And hits 280, hits, 25 to 30 jacks. Is in the Gold Glove, conversation again. If not wins another Gold Glove since he won the Gold Glove last year. Wins another Silver Slugger or whatever. Then he can opt out with Minnesota. If he doesn't like Minnesota, he can opt out and hit free agency again, and then maybe get his big deal somewhere next year. Maybe with Atlanta's been talked about, or wherever the hell he wants to go and get his big deal. So I think from Correa's point of view, that's just kind of where his mindset was, hey, what? I'm going to bet on myself. I'm going to go play in Minnesota for 1 year. And if I have a monster season, I'll just opt out and I'll sign for another year. Now, from the Minnesota perspective, I don't think that makes any damn sense. Correa is not going to put you over the top. Minnesota is nowhere close to winning that division. They're nowhere close to going to the playoffs right now. And you're going to pay $35 million for a shortstop that's probably only going to be there for 1 year. That makes absolutely zero sense to me. Absolutely zero sense. All right. So that's just what I got. Okay. All right, we got a few minutes left here. Let's get into the March Madness. Now, games are still going on as I'm recording this, but I did okay day one. I only missed 2 games. The 2 games that I did miss was Kentucky. Didn't see that one coming. Did not see Kentucky getting upset, and also did not see Iowa getting upset by Providence. Those were the 2 games that I missed on day one. And then day 2, I don't know why I took Seton Hall over TSU. That was just dumb on my part. And I missed 4 games in day 2. So 6 games total for the round of 42 is what I end up missing. Let's see here. Where's the game? Oh, yeah. Game I missed, I had Bama. Bama lost to Notre Dame. And then let's see here. Oh, and then Baylor, of course, lost I was in the round of 32. We'll get to that later. And then let's see. I had Texas, Purdue, Kentucky. Yeah, TCU there, Michigan, Tennessee. Oh, I had Loyola upsetting Ohio State, and that just didn't happen. And then I had LSU for some reason. I should have taken Iowa State. I just didn't. That was just kind of dumb on my part. But I ended up missing 6 games in the round of 64. So far, I have missed 5 games in the round of 32. Let's see, because I had Gonzaga over Memphis. That one hit. Arkansas and New Mexico State haven't played yet. Texas Tech hasn't played yet. Michigan State and Duke are playing right now. I do have Michigan State in the upset in that. We'll see what happens with that. And then let's see here. And then Baylor, of course, lost to UNC. I screwed that one up. I also had St. Mary's beating UCLA. That didn't happen. Texas and Purdue play tonight. Of course, Kentucky's out, so I'm going to miss that one. I did get both there. Arizona plays later today. I had Illinois beating Houston. Cougars lockdown defense today, man. They just freaking were amazing today. Ended up winning that one. I did call Michigan in the upset in Tennessee because Rick Barnes is going to Rick Barnes. And then Nova won. I did have Nova advancing. Nova won. Then let's see. I've got Kansas over Creighton. We'll see how that one goes. And then once again, I had Iowa beating Providence. That's not going to happen. I do have Wisconsin advancing. over Iowa State, and I've got Auburn beating Miami, so we'll see what happens. But my Final Four is still intact. My Final Four right now are Gonzaga, Villanova, Baylor. Excuse me, no, one of my Final Four is done. Baylor's done. I had Baylor in the Final Four. They're over. So I've lost one Final Four team. I got Gonzaga, Nova, and Kansas left in my Final Four. Baylor's done. All right, we'll see what happens with the rest of the tournament. All right. I just figured I'd do this Sunday because, I mean, first of all, the weather's freaking gorgeous out here. Figure I'd sit on my back porch, smoke a cigar, drink a beer here, finish watching the tournament here on my back porch. So I may just post this one for this week. And if there's any big breaking news or anything like that, I'll get on here and post another one. But I think this might be my episode for the week. Cheers, guys. Enjoy the rest. Hope everybody had a good St. Patrick's Day. And cheers and enjoy the rest of the tournament today, the round of 32. And then we got the Sweet 16 is going to start on Thursday. That'll be Thursday and Friday with the Sweet 16. And y'all join the tournament. Have a good time. Cheers, everybody. All right. See y'all later.